Hey everybody, happy Monday. My cat decided to lay on my settings, so I figured, let's just go with it. Anyways, I hope everybody's doing well out there in the world tonight. It is Monday. It is April 17th. I am thrilled to report that we are now within $85 of finally wrapping up our fundraiser for the student loan justice van. $85 short, guys. You can see the link for it right there. It's a GoFundMe thing. Please just kick something in, would you, so we can knock this out once and for all. I wasn't planning on having to fundraise for this thing as long as we have, but well, there you are. And actually, I'm thrilled. Huge thanks to everybody out there who has kicked in so far. We've raised like $9,915, which is very much needed. The SLJ van is going to be key for us going forward. And we've got many miles that we need to go here in the coming months, particularly this summer. A couple of other quick announcements. If you happen to live in Nebraska and you're willing to be interviewed, or you know somebody who's struggling with student loans and lives in Nebraska and you're willing to be interviewed, let me know. We've got a film crew coming there in the first week of May from Switzerland, believe it or not. And they seem like really nice people, and they're doing a student loan story for whatever reason, which I thought was strange, but whatever. They seem like nice people. They seem like they are fully on our side of this matter. Yeah, and most countries in Europe, you don't have to pay for college. Like, there are almost no student loans in most European countries at this point. Anyways, they must think that we're just gone crazy here in the United States, and we have. So tonight, I kind of want to just do sort of an open forum. Like, if you have any questions or comments and you're watching us on either Facebook or Twitter, feel free to throw them out. But here's the current state of things, ladies and gentlemen. We're waiting for the Supreme Court case. Not so much that we really care what the result of the case is so much. If you have $10,000 or $20,000 less in student loan debt, then you probably aren't in this group. But I don't want to make little of it. I know to some people, this is a big deal. To us, it is really not, because the worst hurt borrowers owe way more than $10,000 or $20,000. And this Biden student loan cancellation, quite frankly, is just a gimmick. First of all, it was done kicking and screaming. In other words, Biden never even wanted to cancel the loans. It was done in a very suspicious way, in that they pointed to the HEROES Act of 2003 as justification for it, which is stupid. They could have just pointed to the Higher Education Act as it was written. And so we never had much confidence in this thing to begin with. Plus, it was done on the eve of an election, which is just not impressive at all. But just goes to show that the people in Washington, D.C. really didn't want to cancel student loans. And whichever way this case goes, that doesn't change for the vast majority of people on our group. But it is an important case just because a lot of other stuff is hanging on it. Like our legislation, for example, I think everybody in Washington is kind of doing the wait and see thing, wait and see how these court cases turn out before they go forward. And frankly, I don't see why that's even necessary. But what I do know, ladies and gentlemen, is that no matter which way this court case goes, we're screwed. Because, I mean, if the cancellation goes through, okay, well then millions of people will get their student loans written off and they'll be done. And the people who are going to be left are going to be the people who were hurt the worst, of which I am a member of that group. And you almost certainly are too. It doesn't change the fact that the system is predatory. And quite frankly, if the cancellation is allowed, then you can bet that absolutely Joe Biden will not do anything for the rest of his presidency and the rest of the first term of his presidency. So anyways, the fight on this end continues, and the fight on this end, and this should be your end if you have student loans, should be for the return of bankruptcy protections to the loans. Now, we're fighting for cancellation. Don't get me wrong. In fact, this group started the petition before almost anyone was talking about canceling student loans by executive order. This group started the petition that launched that whole concept into the zeitgeist. So make no mistake, we are fully on board. And quite frankly, not $10,000, not $20,000, all federally owned student loans must be canceled by executive order is frankly, the only way that should happen. And I can explain that a little later if you're interested in knowing why that's true. Congress will never cancel loans, guys. They won't. They will never do it. It just is not going to happen, at least certainly not in the current political reality. But bankruptcy lies at the core of everything, guys. I say that every night. And if you're new to the group, hear me out. Whether you would ever or never file for bankruptcy is not important at all. Nobody wants to file for bankruptcy. Very few people should have to file for bankruptcy when we get the right return. But until we get the threat of bankruptcy, the leverage of bankruptcy returned, we're going to be begging Joe Biden or the next president forever to cancel loans. And as long as they don't feel any compelling need to do it, they won't. That's the way this game has been played for the 18 plus years that we've been around doing this. We've got to get the threat of bankruptcy back. So the most important action item I have for you tonight, get us into a meeting with both of your senators and your hopefully Republican House representative. So that's one congressman or woman and two senators. That's three people that you need to get a meeting going with. And you need to bring us into the meeting. Say that you want to bring a representative from studentloanjustice.org onto the meeting. My name is Alan Collins. My phone number is 202-594-1120. My email is alan, ALAN, at studentloanjustice.org. I can't just cold call these people, guys, and get these meetings. You're a constituent. You can make it happen. We would like to meet with their judiciary staffer. We can do most or all of the talking. Like, we're very good at this. Believe me, we've been doing this for many years. But you have got to set that up so that we can knock it down. Very important. You know, there are, and we have to focus on the Republicans as well. You know, there's 218 Republicans in the House. There's like 49 or 50 or something Republicans in the Senate. So nominally, that's like 280 people that we would like to have brief, informal, doesn't have to be a big production. Off the record if necessary, that's totally fine. We don't need to record anything. We need to get into phone conferences with their judiciary staffers. That's 280 people. If we did 3 a day, then that would take us like 2 months to do, which I am totally and completely willing to do 3 a day. I would do 5 a day. These are not like hour-long conferences. These are like 20-minute long phone calls or like Zoom meetings. This is very important, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this group is the oldest and the largest group fighting this battle. And we know the correct path. We're not pretend trying to solve this battle like other groups are. Other groups, the last thing they want to do, and this is particularly true for the established student advocacy groups in and around Washington, D.C., and I would say maybe Boston as well. They do not want to solve the student loan problem. They're pimping the problem. They're building their reputations and sucking salaries out of this problem. The last thing they want to do is actually solve it. Yeah, they'll do little court cases here and there just to get their names in the paper, and that'll serve as their little fundraising vehicles and stuff like that. But guys, that's not going to solve this problem. We know the way to solve this problem. And the way to solve this problem is with normal people like you and me and everybody else on this live stream and the other 1.4 million people in our group actually getting their knuckles a little muddy and bloody and fighting this battle with us. So if you've never done anything for student loan justice, the first thing you should do is get a meeting scheduled with both of your senators and your House rep, and try particularly hard if they are Republicans. We're a nonpartisan group, so you know we pretty much hate the Republicans and the Democrats in different ways. But you know, we have been shoved into the partisan cracks on this, and we don't trust any politicians further than we can freaking bowl them. So yeah, guys, get us into that meeting. And the other thing that I would say, and I say this almost every night, I think, is do our daily actions. And let me just dial those in for you. We do daily actions, not every day, but probably 4 days a week or so. Go to that link there, or just go to our website, and you can see it at the very top. If you've never done a daily action, I would urge you to do a couple of weeks worth. They're very quick, by the way. It's like retweet this, retweet that. Does not take a lot of your time at all, like usually seconds. It sounds small and inconsequential, but dudes, I'm telling you, if 1.4 million people were doing our daily actions every day, this problem would absolutely be solved in months. That's true. Like, we've got such a huge muscle to flex. I truly don't think that you understand or appreciate that, but indeed, and in fact, it is definitely true. So we've got a couple of comments here I see. Let me just, further than we can let me just have a look at them. Hey, Michael Cheney's with us tonight. Hey, Michael, the fearless truck driver from Ohio. Speaking of meeting with our senators and congresspeople, I want to thank Michael for jumping in on a very important phone call that we did last week with a particular Ohio lawmaker whose name shall remain nameless at this point. Hey, Michael says, cannot afford to pay student loans, pay way too much in taxes. Government got my overtime, even taxed my boot reimbursement. I don't know what a boot reimbursement is. That must be something for your job, but yes. And you know, Michael, I will only say that you, my friend, are not alone. Even before the pandemic, nearly 60% of all borrowers were unable to make payments on their loans. 85% of all borrowers were never going to be able to repay their loans ultimately. In other words, some were paying, but their loan balances were going up, not down, up. So misery loves company, I suppose, Michael. We're glad that you found us. Oh, for steel-toe boots. Okay. Oh God, that's just gnarly. Yeah, this lending beast is just an absolute nightmare. It's disgusting what our own government is doing to us, our own federal government. As I said, we're a nonpartisan group, we kind of hate both parties, but this is a big government problem. The Department of Education and its student loan scam, and it is a scam, it's an unconstitutional scam, accrues huge governmental profit to the Department of Education, which they very happily spread around Washington, D.C. among their friends, their contractors, their cronies. It's disgusting what the federal government is doing to us here. And, that's kind of that's a conservative concern. Conservatives are supposed to be for smaller government, and, they're supposed to be all for free enterprise, and they're all supposed to be all about the Constitution. Well, here we have a Washington, D.C. federal student loan scam, and it is a scam, from which constitutional rights, like the right of bankruptcy and the right to be protected equally under the law. Student loan borrowers are not given equal protection under the law. These most basic rights have been violated. This is a lending scam that no true conservative should get behind. And remember, guys, it's going to be a really difficult year this year because we have a mixed Congress now. Last year, the Democrats controlled the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And the Democrats had have a long-standing written commitment to return bankruptcy rights to student loans. Well, I'm here to tell you guys, the Democrats chose to betray us last year, and that hurt. That hurt bad. But the last shoe that this is going to drop on are the Democrats. This is going to come back to them. They will pay a price for this. And as I said, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you're very welcome in this group. And I'm here to tell you that last year the Democrats betrayed us. This year we have a Republican-controlled House, and that certainly is no breath of fresh air. That actually makes our job even harder. Historically, the Republicans have been just evil assholes on this. And while we've seen some pretty hopeful signs from Republicans in recent years, from people like Matt Gaetz, love him or hate him, Josh Hawley, love him or hate him, John Cornyn, Glenn Grothman, John Katko, and other Republicans in Congress. It's going to be very tough. It's going to be tougher this time than it was last congressional session. So if you weren't really helping us fight last year and the year before, 2-year congressional session, I would urge you to please turn over a new leaf and make a commitment to yourself to help us fight. It all comes down to you. That's the one thing we've learned over 19 years of doing this almost. When you sitting there don't do anything, nothing good happens. This group is not here for your entertainment, guys. I'm sorry. And if you came here for the piano playing, I feel sorry for you. No. This is a working fighting group, guys. If you want to be in this group, you need to be at a minimum doing our daily actions. And that's just true. And if you don't feel like you are, you don't feel you have a responsibility to fight, and you don't intend to fight with us, then hit the bricks. Go away. We don't want you here in this group. This group is for workers. This group is for fighters who are willing to do some of the hard work, whether in a group or as an army of one or however you do that. This group is for people who are willing to make some efforts with us. So yeah, guys, I think I'm going to keep it pretty short tonight. It's Monday. We have like 8 inches of new snow on the ground up here in northern Wisconsin. It was 80 degrees on Friday. I kid you not, or Thursday. Yeah, we've got some more snow that is just about to start falling, and usually our bandwidth tanks when it snows for some reason. So I don't know what that's all about. But we got this, guys. Maybe the last thing I'll say is the first thing I think I said at the beginning of this broadcast. Help us just get over this hump with the van, and there's no harm in raising over the $10,000, by the way. We're going to need every penny and then some. We have operating costs that we've been shirking because we've been fundraising for the van and stuff. Help out with the van so I can shut up about it. I suck at fundraising. And again, thanks to everybody who have been doing the hard work. I appreciate it. Okay, guys. So either me or Ed, probably me, will be back tomorrow around 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Do our daily actions, guys, and make it your mission to get us into a meeting with your House and your Senate representatives. Good luck. Godspeed, everyone, and God bless.